again. Here it is January and can't really get out into the garden yet, although it's about time to start seeds. This time of year we actually can sit back with a cup of tea or whatever and read, take a look and dream about our gardens. And so I want today to talk about this book, which is a new book. Here's Tiberius to help me out. This is a book called Growing an Edible Landscape, and it's got a subtitle which is long, so I have to read it. How to Transform Your Outdoor Space into a Food Garden. And it is by Gary Pilarchik and Chiara, who live in Maryland. Gary has the Rusted Garden Homestead YouTube channel, and he's on Instagram, and he's written, I guess is his second book. And this is a really wonderful book, and I picked up some ideas in it as well. In some ways, this book is like a garden book in that it talks about things that you can do in your garden, but it really gets you to try to think about your garden, not just as a plot for growing space, but your lawn, your whole yard, and growing things that are edible as part of your landscaping plan overall. If you watch my channel and you've seen some of my videos, you know that I am a great proponent of polyculture. I grow lots of different plants next to each other. And also I grow a lot of flowers woven into my vegetable garden. I think it brings beauty, and it also has some utilitarian purposes as well. So a lot of the book really talks about how to transform your yard into sort of a total all-encompassing landscape. This book really encourages you to think about your garden aesthetically, not just as a utilitarian space, but as a place of beauty and a place that is just nice for hanging out as well. So the book is really comprehensive. It's laid out really well and has so many really gorgeous, hello Tiberius. Tiberius loves to be in videos. The book has many gorgeous photographs of real people's gardens, many really useful how-tos as well. It is very well organized. One of the things that I really like about the book is that it starts out not just talking about gardening, but really talking about the whole concept of lawns and how the great American lawn, which is a place of enormous monoculture, came to be a great goal of many people, and how that took hold. If you've watched my channel, you know I can go on long rants about monocultures and about lawns and about grass in particular. I have a playlist called The Joys of a Wild Lawn, and my lawn in Virginia is wild. It has never been landscaped. It's never been fertilized or treated or anything like that beyond mowing the grass that grows there. And really what grows there is grass and a lot of other things. So this book sort of embraces that idea and has a lot of ecological benefits, not just in your own soil, in your own lawn, but in things like the ecology of the Chesapeake Bay and our oceans as well. The book is really comprehensive. It really is a series of how-tos, kind of from start to finish, starting with how to plan and organize your yard to transform it into an edible landscape. It gives really practical tips about how to study your lawn for sun and water. It also takes into account that people have varying budgets and that not everybody has an unlimited expense account to spend on their garden. They encourage a slow and steady process of transforming your lawn. Another key point is that there's not one way to do this process, that there are many ways of creating garden space and landscape space. And so it's not dogmatic in that respect, but actually will give you several different approaches. There are many plans or ways to get started on the plan. They give you diagrams, they give pictures of real life houses and people's spaces. I think I like it because it's really approachable for the way that a lot of people live in relatively small yards and suburban yards and things like that. So it's not just for the grand scheme or people who have a lot of space. The book is supported with many real life examples, and there are very clear photographs and diagrams and sets of instructions. Very helpful, very helpful. One of the things that they recommend is to practice something called No Mow May, which is a movement that's sort of underway to really encourage people not to mow their lawns during the month of May, because that's when many of the early flowering weeds and things like that come up and provide a lot of food for foraging insects and bees and things like that. And they also recommend that because it's a great way to really learn about and assess what is in your lawn already. And there are many things that are actually edible growing there. like plantain, as well as violets. I had no idea that you could eat violets. My yard is full of violets, which I just think are so beautiful, but I didn't know that we could eat them as well. So that's a good thing. I learned a lot of things in this book. They included a really great quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. A weed is a plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered. Isn't that a great way to think about weeds? So, what are some of the things that some tips that I picked up and I'm planning on trying to integrate into my own garden from this book? One is I learned about fiddleheads, and fiddleheads are the fronds of of ferns that are edible, but not all ferns are edible. But this book told me which ones are, which are ostrich ferns. I love fiddleheads, and they're always so hard to come by in the markets. I think in all my years, I've only really run into them maybe twice, 2 or 3 times in farmers markets because they're really ephemeral. They are here and then you have to use them, pick them at the right time and use them right away. And when I have found them, they're pretty expensive. So it's a big, huge splurge for something relatively little. So I'm going to go ahead and try to plant some ostrich ferns in my shady spots, and maybe I'll get a whole crop of fiddleheads. Very exciting. Another thing they had great instructions on how to do is how to build an herb spiral. And there were many different forms, but it really has step-by-step instructions. I've been sort of fascinated by herb spirals for a while, but this reminded me that I want to do them, and the helpful instructions are a big plus. Really cute thing about the book. One of the chapters gives you plans and menus. So thinking about a garden space as a menu or a garden plot as a menu is something I really hadn't done. So they have the pollinator menu, the salad menu, the tea garden menu. And I had not really thought about planning a bed like that, but I think that's worth looking at. That's worth looking at as well. Kitty cat, you're right in my way. Another thing I picked up and I'm going to try is that sage grown near brassicas is a real benefit, and it helps to repel the cabbage moths, which lay those awful eggs that turn into the caterpillars that eat your brassicas. So this year I am going to plant some sage around my brassicas and see if that works. Plus it's just a beautiful, beautiful plant as well. So it is really a wonderful book. It just came out in late November and it's available on Amazon. So I would definitely recommend getting it and reading it. Picked up a lot of good practical ideas. Growing an edible landscape. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.